Okay, so um, start off with hello and welcome to my channel. Uh, so, as before, and I don't know if you guys are aware, but we're in a bit of a correction right now with the markets. Um, well, let's get to it. Um, my name is Will. I'm your host, and this is a live broadcast uh, on January 30th. Uh, I'm on Mountain Time, so I don't know what your time frame is where you are, but it is 10:27 at night currently. The segment is on on you, so we're going to focus on stocks and we're going to focus on investing in real estate. Like before, if you guys watch my videos before, um, we're I'm trying new things. I'm trying to get things organized so I can better suit your needs and figure out what you guys want um, from the different channels that are out there. Some will say that the inflationary worry is a big problem, but inflation is always going to be a concern when you're buying a house, selling a house, or just what you want from your investment strategies that you have going forward. Some people like Bitcoin. Bitcoin is someone very smart, Kevin O'Leary, had mentioned that Bitcoin um, has to get regulated, has to be a process where it gets determined to be a banking institution with a lot of fundamental facts behind it. Uh, but as you may or may not be aware, it is called virtual currency for a reason. That currency is real based on if the internet doesn't crash. If you remember your 17-digit PIN, if, 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 if all these things line up and they tell you it's like replacing gold. Well, unfortunately, it isn't replacing gold. Gold can be sold in any commodity at any value. Okay, so um, if they determine that it's worth 2,300 euros per 1 ounce of gold, um, that's going to change the demographics big time. Bitcoin, it was founded in the US, it's represented by the US, and it's a considerary of the Federal Reserve under uh, under the commission. So the US is funding Bitcoin. Therefore, they're pushing it on the world. Lo and behold, we have Bitcoin. And where is it? It's in how many different countries? All the ones that are backed by the US. You notice that China's pulled out, Japanese has pulled out, parts of the UK in certain areas have pulled out of Bitcoin because it's fundamentally stuck in US currency. So it's a hedge against gold. It's a hedge against gold. So therefore, gold went down, Bitcoin went up. No surprise there. What does it mean for the US dollar? US dollar still went down. Gold didn't go anywhere. Why? People got into Bitcoin thinking that it's a hedge against the US currency. It is not. It's based in US funds. Enough about Bitcoin. Okay. It's a 17-digit code. You want to transfer your money out, you have to transfer to a different 17-digit code once it's in your wallet, which is also another 17-digit code fundamentally blocked, what they call blockchain. Once it's in there, it's in a wallet, similar to what you have in your person, a wallet, physical wallet, but it's not a physical wallet. It is a small stream of information where it stores your money as a 17-digit code. Which makes sense? So once you want it back out of there, you have to transfer it from the wallet to another account. Not the same account, a different account that you have to make up. So like you pulled it from your Royal Bank account or your Visa or your MasterCard or your Apple phone or um, PayPal account, e-checks, anything like that, that you pulled it from to put it on your phone or put it on your computer, mobile device, laptop, um, desktop, iPad, Apple Air, Samsung, Asus pad, ebooks, anything that you pulled it from or put it on has to be transferred back into a different account from a different account number that's been set up through you through Bitcoin or whatever coin you're using. Once you're able to transfer back and forth, you can understand the concepts. But I would recommend that you do it in small quantities at first to get used to the whole idea and find out just how hard it is to keep track on electronic devices that never break down, right? Your electronic devices never break down. Anyway, I'm going to get away from Bitcoin. Bitcoin is another animal, and I don't want to get taken up in it. I don't know enough about it to even talk about it. But that's just the basis of your Bitcoin. Anyway, we want to get to the meat and potatoes of investing in real estate REITs. So, like before, I talked about real estate REITs. So, in any real estate REIT, I talked about um, getting involved in buying real estate. So, if we wanted to buy real estate, actual real estate REITs, the best bang for your buck is going to be BTB. And the only reason why I chose BTB over the other investments is not because they pay a higher dividend, is because you have higher growth expectations. So does that make sense? You got higher potential for growth. Okay, so last year they purchased $94 million in assets. They have over $894 million in assets. The 94 million in assets they're projecting is going to be over $1 billion in assets in the next 2 years. Therefore, it gives you a 30% return on your money. Now, anyone talking about uh, dividends, this is how it works. So, BTB.UN on the Toronto Stock Exchange. If everyone's on the NASDAQ, I strongly suggest you look at Oxford, OXSQ. Um, they trade at about $4 too. The Oxford's a little better, but it's not real estate per se. It's mortgage-backed security loans. Okay, mortgage-backed security loans. So they help you get a mortgage at a very cheap rate, variable rate usually, and they undercut all the banks with their lending. They borrow the money from millionaires. Okay, those millionaires, and some of them are billionaires, give them the money for funds. Now, this is how it works. I need a mortgage, um, but I don't want to pay 2%. Oh, there's a broker. Oxford is that broker. Okay, I want a mortgage. They go and say, yeah, okay. What's your credit rating or credit score? I don't know. Okay, we'll look it up for you. So they look it up for you. They go, okay, well, you qualify for the banks to get a bank loan. Yeah, but I don't want to pay 2%. Okay, we'll see what we can do better. So then they go to every single institution out there for you through their millionaires and ask what possibly they could do for me. So they give me an underrated value of 1.029 or 0.75, 0.0 or 0.75 on my mortgage. I'm like, sign me up. I want part of that. Okay, but it's a variable rate, which means like we're going to have in March, we're going to have an influx because the US borrowed too much money. They have to start paying that back. How do they pay it back? Increase the inflation. How do they do that? We had COVID. Everybody remember we had COVID? We're still in it. Um, that increases the interest rates because everything goes up. Our food allowances, everything goes up. Biden got in. Guess what Biden's doing? cut oil and gas. Cut oil and gas means inflation is going to go up because they have to import all their oil and gas, driving the gas prices up. Oh, look, Putin is thinking about invading Poland. Oh, or Ukraine. Sorry, Poland. Ukraine. Thinking about invading Ukraine. Poland's next. The only reason why they do that, increase the value of oil. Increase the value of oil. Russia benefits. U.S. benefits. China gets screwed. Japanese, they get screwed. Why? Because inflation goes through the roof. Canada, our dollar improves so drastically when we get a raise in oil, it's not even funny. We go to a dollar, we're looking at about $1.15 to $1.20 per US, which is amazing. Thank you, Rowena, for the big shout out. That's awesome. Thank you kindly. I hope you enjoy it. I hope that you can tell your friends. Thanks for liking me, and don't forget to hit the little subscribe button on the bottom. Well, I don't get paid for these things. These are all free. So all the information we provide on our channels is free information. So let's look at BTB. It's a Canadian stock. I like it. It benefits you in a way. Okay, so in every way, and I'll tell you why. Okay, it's a growth stock. So if you look at Dream Realty REIT, and you look at H&R Realty REIT, they also provide dividends, but they're at $16 to $17 right now. If you were to put your nest egg, okay, into housing, let's go with housing, and you want to invest and buy a house, and you want to take that house and you want to turn it into a investment real estate revenue for you, so it's going to give you residual income month over month. So you buy the house, it costs you 20% down. So if you have a $350,000 mortgage, you have to put 20% down. Okay, minimum, to avoid these CMHC fees. You do this so that you can now rent out your property 2 sets, right? So $1,200 for the top, $1,200 for the bottom, $2,400 a month. Excellent. And it's going to cost me about $1,800 a month for my mortgage. So I'm benefiting $600, right? But that's not profit. That is the underlying value. The $600 that you get every month residual helps pay for the property tax, and you still need insurance. And you still need to put some money away for maintenance costs for the property. And because you have two sets of property evaluations that you have to do, and keep that money separate when the renters leave or damages they may cause. And your underlying statement should read something like $5,000 to $10,000 in money that you'll require to fix the house. Okay, so you need to put that money away. Real estate REIT, BTB.UN. You put your money in BTB. Okay, how much? Well, what were you going to put in the house? You had to put 20% down. So if it was 400,000, 20% down is almost 100 grand. You stuck $100,000 into BTB. Okay, let's do the math here. Okay, just go ting, 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 ting. Do some math calculations for you. BTB is currently trading at $4. Okay, they offer 2.5 cents per dividend. So we go 100,000 divided by 4. $4 a stock gives me 25,000. Now we can times that by our dividend yield. Our dividend yield, okay. 2.25, that turns into $625 a month. On your $100,000 investment, 25,000 times 2.5 cents gives you $625 every single month. Now, if you took that $625 and you put the drip on, now you find out if you can do a drip. Okay, so let's go put the drip on. So every month you get $625, and you're going to reinvest that back into the company. They're going to give you another 2.5 cents per share on top of that. So then you go, oh, that's nice of you. 6 divided by, oh, no, sorry, times 2.5 cents. That gives you an extra 15 shares every month. Okay, until it starts accumulating. It takes a little time for it to start accumulating because you're not putting any more money into it. But if you were to put money into it every single month, depending on how much you want to put into it, now I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. Okay, no problem. $625 a month isn't crap to me. And if I was getting a real estate, I'd be getting that, and then I get the valuation of the house goes up. Well, what happens when the stock goes double? Like I said, remember I told you this was a growth stock. So I'm expecting $12 stock price. That is huge, right? But when you consider it that they pay 98% to you of their profit, they're paid to the shareholders. That puts value in your pocket. Knowing once they make $1 or $3 per stock, per share, they're going to give you $2.80 return equity to you. Therefore, this stock will not sit anywhere close to its valuation. It would sit around 16 to 18 times earnings. That tells you something right there. So if it was sitting at $1, $1 in earnings per share, you're getting 85 cents, 85 cents per year. That increase in your dividend increases by almost 3 times the rate now. So like that would be 6 cents a share per month. That's amazing, right? Uh, how much would that give you? Well, that would be 3 times 6. That would be $1,800 a month, and you could turn that money, put it back in there, in every single month until you're ready to retire. That would accumulate, and then if you put some more money in there, it would even accumulate faster. So the ratios are about 40%, 30 to 40% on average per year per dividend yield. You would make over $1 million in 10 years if you were to do $100 a month. That's not taking into consideration your fees. Okay, so you have to put in that plus your fees, whatever your fees might be. $9.99, $8.75, $6.75, or if you go to Wealth Simple, everybody, you went to Wealth Simple, they give you um, zero commission. They charge you zero commission. There's only one problem with Wealth Simple. You can't buy everything on Wealth Simple. Wealth Simple has got a strategy that's put in place that protects them as well as you. They don't allow you to buy um, um, nano stocks or micro stocks on your TFSA. Your TFSA is a tax-free savings account. RRSPs is a registered savings plan. So if you want to think of what's the benefits of an RSP. The only benefit that you have in RSPs is this: you're able to purchase cars with 3%. You're able to go on vacations as long as you put everything on there as much as possible. Flights to Europe. We want to go to uh, want to go to Germany, and then we want to go to uh, Budapest. Want to go to Istanbul. You book your flights, you book your hotels, you book everything that you need to do with a travel agent. That travel agent will give you the exact price of it, except for stuff that you can't account for, but everything that you can with all your accommodations. If you want uh, a limo service, or if you want uh, Uber, right? You put all that in there, all your costs and expenses for all your travel plans you put in there, your concerts, your evening outs you want to go to Paris, you want to go to the museums, you want to go visit Rome, Italy. You can put all that in there, and then you go to your bank. You say, I need to want to purchase travel plan. Here's my agent. Uh, Here's the cost, and could you please send them the check? They send them the check. You get your travel plans. Everything's paid for. You only pay 3% to the government. Okay, for the transaction, for the transfer. And then you go on your go on your vacation. You still got to pay for your food. You still got to pay for your taxi fares. You still got to pay for your food, lodging, everything that you didn't include. You have to pay for separately. So if you want to go and see the mausoleum, and you didn't put that on your expenses, or there was no packages, because most people go on packages because it's where you save more money is with packages. Same thing with your flights. Every time you do a flight and you do a transfer, that money would have been accumulated already. You would have saved yourself so much money by going on the trip using your RSP funds. Just one more concept of using your RSP funds and also buying cars, trucks, and vehicles, big ticket items. Cruises, huge benefit because more it's just a hotel on the water. So everything's inclusive. So those are perfect for booking getaways using your RSPs, and that is free advice for you. So that's one big benefit of an RSP over TFSA. TFSA shelters you from your dividend income. So all the money that you make on your dividend is sheltered under the TFSA. If you buy American, if you're Canadian, you buy American, uh, be warned that Americans do charge you a dividend tax separately from the Canadian side of it. So the Canadian side of it on the TFSA is still sheltered, but on the American side, uh, they charge a bit of tax uh, on on your investments. So just so you're aware. Um, okay, so let's get down to the nuts and bolts of BTB. So if we were to stick $100 into BTB every month for the next 5 to 10 years, we should be millionaires, right? Based on 30% um, that they are able to make every year. Sorry, not every month, every year. So what does that mean? Well, at $4, it doesn't mean a lot, especially when I'm looking at it going, it should be around $12. So when it hits $12, that means you stop and look elsewhere. No, that means you stop and analyze the stock. So you look at it as a stock then, and you always put in your stop loss so you can maximize your profits on a rollback. How much? Well, on an investment real estate, it doesn't go up much, it doesn't come down much. So if you want to protect your asset, you would probably set it at, if it's going to go to 1250 and you notice it's at 1225, 1260, between 1225 and 1260, you want to protect it and say, okay, I want to protect it at $12.50. I want to protect it at $12.25. It's already at 12, 1260, 1220, 1240. sitting in that range. I want to protect at 12.25. You go on, you say, okay, I want to sell it, and then it'll say stop limit. You hit stop limit, it'll say target price. Your target price is going to be higher than your stop. Okay, your target price is going to be at 12.25. You're out of it. In case it drops lower, you're out at it at $12.15. Make sense? So it's sitting at 12.40, between 12.40 and 12.60. You stop your limit so that you understand what you're selling it at, what you need to know. And hello, how's Bosman? Let's see if I can. How are you? And just add your link. And what would you like to discuss? Anything? Nothing comes to mind? Uh, you want to know more about inflation? Okay, so we're looking at an inflationary rate of at least 2.5 cent. What they mean by 25 basis points is 0.025. So it's quarter of a percentage point, which is one. So it's not a lot, but they can spook the market and say 50 basis points, which is a half a percent. That would kind of freak out the markets and force a downward spiral. That's going to happen in March. I think they said the 20, somewhere around the end of March. Um, the Fed's going to meet. And same thing with Canada. They made a statement too about the inflationary rate. Now, what will that mean? That will mean a sharp sell-off in the markets if it spooks the markets too much. If it's 25 basis points is what they were projecting, that's going to have zero effect um, because it's already taken into consideration the fact that we've sold off the last 5 days. That tells me right there that the markets are all looking at a bearish sentiment already. So 25 basis points won't mean much to the markets. It will get a downward draft on it, but we won't see a big sell off unless, which we will see later on. I don't see this happening until June, but we'll start to see a influx of companies reporting negative earnings. It's because they're not getting bailed out anymore. Like, I mean, it's just common sense, right? You shut everything down. No one wants to go and eat out. No one wants to buy anything in the stores because it's just it's just a frenzy. It's just what it is. Even though you're seeing a lot of it going on right now in the stores, where people are lining up to get in. There is no more lineups. There's no restrictions here in Alberta. So I don't know what it's like in the rest of the world, but when I look at the TV and I see everybody's going to baseball games, football games, and everybody's at the basketball games, I don't see there being an issue with people spending money on whatever it is what they want to spend money on. The only thing is that people want to get out and interact with people. They're tired of this nonsense with you get sick, right? Everybody stays home when they're sick. Not very many people go out when they're sick, except workaholics, and they don't get out much either. They just bury themselves in paperwork at the office. And so, if you want to talk about inflation, we can talk about inflation, but it's like I said, it's kind of like a fiasco. The governments are making one thing, and then the Fed's doing another. And they act like they're two different entities, but they're not. They just run. One runs the show, the other one stands back and makes a judgment call based on what they see the show is doing. So if you're like most people, you sit back and you watch TV, you see, okay, well, there's two sides to every story. Well, in certain cases, a picture speaks a million words. It's the exact same thing. It's like you just take a look at the economy and everything that revolves around the economy, and it tells you a little bit more what's going on. So we're talking about BTB and how you can retire off just buying a dividend stock. So your growth, we want that residual income coming in. We took $100,000. Now I know $100,000 seems like a lot of money to a lot of people, but if you looked at it and said, okay, I want to buy a house, how much money do I need to put down on that house so that I can rent out the top floor and the bottom? You need 20% down in Canada to get rid of the CMAC, so you don't have to pay that $10,000 to CMAC just in case you go bankrupt. Okay, so it's security is what the CMAC stands for. It's the security holdings for the National Bank of Canada. Well, here it's Canada, but where you're from is going to be the same thing. So you want to get yourself into a high, profitable, dividend growing stock that uses investments for commercial, because everybody's got to pay rent. If you have a business, you got to pay rent. It's just the way it is, unless you own the business. And if you own the business, then you can lease it out to other vendors. And BTB happens to be one of those. And who do they lend out their property to? Well, okay, let's take a good look at Montreal. So, doctors, nurses, chiropractors, massage therapists, and pharmaceuticals. Well, that's guaranteed. Yeah, and they sign a 10-year contract with them, which means it's good and bad. 10-year contracts or 5-year contracts with individuals is good and bad. What's the good side of it? The good side, guaranteed income. We're guaranteed, make sure we make money. Bad news is it's the same income for the next 10 years. So we're not going to get any increases. So sorry about your luck, but that's all you're going to make. So you're not going to get an increase. As if you were renting out your house, you would get an increase depending on demand. But it also means you're taking decreases based on demand. So if you had a good month on your renters or good years and everything's going up, then you can increase your rent. If there's more houses, there's more people renting, or there's not enough people renting, everybody's buying, leaves you out in the cold saying, I have to reduce my rent, make sure that I've got my place rented out. It's the same thing, right? The only thing is you're taking no risk. When you buy BTB.UN, it's a real estate company, you take zero risk, okay? The risk is it goes down. Goes down, that's beneficial to you. How? You're able to buy more shares, put it into the drip, okay? When you go into your platform for buying real estate dividends, you go into your portfolio. And then it says under there, income. Well, you go into income, you go down, and it should have a little bar there that says available companies that pay dividends. Click on it. You find the stock that you're looking for to see if it's there. Okay. If you already bought it, they're going to already have it on there showing you that you can. Then you go on, click on drip. Drip means that you're going to accumulate even more shares. Instead of getting paid the money, you're going to get shares of the company. And all you had to do was buy into the company to get the shares. So there's no extra anything that you have to do. So you're just collecting the money every month, going back into itself, so you got more and more shares. So if it goes down, you get more shares. Now, how do you get to be a millionaire? Okay, how do you get to be a millionaire? You start putting money away today. $100 per month for the next 10 years into it. So you're able to buy BTB right now at $4. So 400 is going to give you 25 shares, right? 25 shares every month plus the amount that you put in the first place. So you put that in there. Like I said before, BTB should hit $12. The reason why it'll hit $12 is because they just purchased $94 million in real estate last year. Now they make 32 cents a share. They give you 30 cents a share per year. That works out to 2.5 cents per share per month. And you love monthly payments because that's how your bills come out, is in monthly payments. So it's perfect. So when it's time to pull the money out, because you put it in a drip, you put it under your TFSA, your mattress, your cushion, it's safe, right? It's going to accumulate for you. And then the more you accumulate, faster it grows. So if it's 30%, which is your base, you want to start off with companies that are going to pay you at least 30%. And the reason why I didn't mention like Lyft is because Lyft is great. Great. They pay a huge dividend. I think it's like $3.80 a dividend. That's way like no 480, sorry, 480. Royal Bank pays 460. But Royal Bank trades at huge, huge, right? $138 Canadian. So to buy your 100,000 shares doesn't even buy you 1,000 shares. It buys you 900 shares. Do you see where I'm going with this? So you're able to buy 25,000 at $4 compared to buying Royal Bank. Even if you buy LIF $4.80 a share, that's awesome. Way better than Royal, but it's not a real estate company. And it doesn't pay monthly, it pays quarterly. Royal pays monthly. So the Royal pays monthly, BTB pays monthly, Direct, Dream Real Estate REIT, they pay monthly, Oxford pays monthly, H&R Real Estate REIT, they pay monthly, but they're way more expensive. They're 4 times to 5 times more money than BTB. So you're getting bigger bang for your buck. Now, if you're in the States, it's going to be Oxford, OXSQ, and they are not a real estate company. They lend mortgages to people who benefit from selling those mortgages from millionaires that give them the low rates. Then they, in turn, sell those to the banks at the same rate that they purchased them, but at a finder's fee. That finder's fee could be anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 per transaction. How do they make their money? On the transaction. So the commission sale. So it's behind the scenes. So I'm I'm the guy trying to get a mortgage. They give me a huge discount compared to the banks. I like that. I love that. And when I sign that deal, uh, I get that mortgage for 5 years on a variable rate, even though inflation's going up. They promise inflation's going up because you have to pay off the deficit. Every single country in the world has taken on so much debt because of COVID, they have to start paying it back. Now, how are they going to pay it back? They have to increase the amount of inflation there is in the world. That's a fact. That's a fact, fact, fact. They have borrowed so much money that they have to increase inflation. That means that lending becomes a problem. Um, and the banks don't want to lend to the institutions anymore because now they have a huge problem with defaults. Just like us when we buy a mortgage. And I tell them I need $1 million mortgage, but you're only making $30,000 a year. It's going to take you 4 lifetimes to pay that off. Exactly. It's just not feasible. It's just not feasible. So from the standpoints of the bank, They look at this and say, well, when's it going to pay off the deficit? At the current rate that they're going, they'll never pay it off. It'll take thousands of years to pay off the deficit that's currently sitting at right now. Thousands of years, because they're just, we lost so many people because of the death rate. We're bringing in so many people, so we have to pay for those people. And it's us, the taxpayers, that have to pay for those people being brought in from Bulgaria, Africa, and now Afghanistan, Syria. Like we have to pay for those people, and they're the ones running us over in the streets. But you understand what I'm saying, right? Um, so who get sidetracked on crap again? But that's one aspect of why you need to start focusing on your investment strategies today, so that you can start making money right away. Now I mentioned Suro, because Suro last year made they paid out $8 per dividend, and they're trading at 11.61, which is a huge discount to them. But they announced that they're only paying 75 cents for this dividend quarter. Yeah, big shout out. Uh, Thanks, Babe's channel. Thanks for the support. Really appreciate that. Thanks for Rowena for coming. Thanks, Balls, for sticking by and listening. I hope it's informative in some way, shape, or form. I haven't made a video like this in a while. And I was going to sit down and crunch numbers with you guys to tell you that why BTB is your focus, should be your focal point. I'm invested, and as a disclaimer, I'll get into the disclaimer now, because after 42 minutes of talking, we'll talk about the disclaimer. So the disclaimer is, this is for entertainment purposes. We cannot tell you what to buy, when to buy, or what you should buy or put your money into. I tell you that's a good idea to put your money into it, but it's just a suggestion. This channel is supposed to be informative and tell you why I chose these types. Is because it's not because I believe it. It's because the numbers speak for themselves, and that's the disclaimer. I can't tell you when to buy, what to buy, where to buy. I didn't have you sign any documentation telling you I'd be your broker. I didn't have you come to me and go to the office and sit down and go over my credentials um, and where you should stick your money. And then I can't speak on behalf of your money. It's just like someone on a turn on the street telling you where to stick your money. Or is there an easy button for me to push to make me thousands of dollars? This, like I said, $100,000. You're putting $100,000 into your own stock. You buy it, you get into it. You're able to buy 25,000 shares of BTB. That's going to turn around and give you $625 a month. You roll it over, it's going to give you an extra 40 shares every single month. You're laughing, right? Because you get that on top of your 25,000 shares. So you're going to get that rollover. So that's a big thing. And if you do that every month, it compounds. Now the stock goes up $88. You've just made 100% on your money. Plus, you made it on dividends. Portion of that is not even your money. That was given to you from the company. So it stockpiles. It starts to stockpile. Then after it reaches $12, you look at it, you reevaluate the stock, reevaluate the company. You look at it as a stock, and now it's completely overvalued by the 16 times model. But if they're giving you a higher dividend, the valuations go up. So if it's sitting at $1 earnings per share, it's worth $16. So obviously you got a $4 move before it starts getting overvalued again. But if they're offering you 85 to 90 cents on the dollar in dividends, that stock is actually worth $28, not 16, right? Because they're giving you more money back in your pocket every single month. So therefore, the stock is worth more to people that want solid foundation as a benefit for buying into their stock. So when you start doing the math and you start looking at it, and when you break it down, you can make a serious amount of money over a long period of time. So that's why 10 years at $100 when you put in $100 recap, even if you start it with $1,000 today and you put $100 into it, you would be you'd be better off in 10 years than you are currently because that money has accumulated and you're part of a growth stock. So at that time in 10 years, it should be around $50 to $60. That gives you a huge benefit. Okay, that's over 10 times your money. So your $1,000 is at $40,000. Makes sense, right? So it's at $40,000 plus all the dividends that you've accumulated from then on. That's how you make your money. And if you're able to stick an extra $100 into it every single month, it tells you just how beneficial that longevity is. And then it starts to snowball in your favor after 2 or 3 years. You got 100,000, it's going to snowball a lot faster. You're going to get there a lot quicker. Um, but most of us have to borrow that kind of money. And it's anybody will tell you if you have to borrow money to invest it, it's a bad idea unless it's a for sure thing. There's no for sure things. Okay, if you want, you can wait till the end March. Like I'm waiting. I'm waiting till the end of March. I'll buy more because I'm expecting a downturn. Uh, Once the inflationary hits, and it may or may not happen. So that's a chance you take. That depends on how they hit the market. If we get a new variant, ain't doing nothing, right? New variant's going to speak volumes, and then they can't increase their interest rates. But eventually, they're going to have to start, and they're going to have to do it quickly to be ahead of the game. So that's all the time I have for you, and thank you for coming by and stopping by. Maybe we'll smash some stuff up later. I heard people like that. Oh, I have this beautiful phone. It's nice. Everything's good about it, except I don't have a headphone jack. So I'll drill a hole in it, stick my headphones in it. Oh, now I can listen to my music without my headphones. But at least I have a hole for my jack now. I've seen that. I thought it was pretty funny, actually, that someone takes a drill to an iPhone 7. That was pretty hilarious. I love the boats, watching the boats come in. I'm like, oh, there's looks like a good bargain right there on a new boat. Oh, right. The boat hit the dock, busted a hole in it, went down the ravine, and then dropped, and then hit another rock. Then they pulled the boat out and left the trolley, left the motor being hauled behind it. So I was like, well, so much for that boat. They'll need like they said that when you buy a boat, the rule of thumb is you need another $1,000. That's the rule of thumb on a boat. So if you want to buy a boat, prepare yourself. In some cases, there's a guy on there talking about he just bought a boat. He paid, I think he said $22,000 for it, and then he had to go stick. As soon as he got it home, he had to put $2,500 worth of work into it. He said in my case, it was $2,000 or $3,000 rollover for the boat. Um, and he loves it. He said he loved it. Well, of course you're gonna love it. You spend that kind of money on it, you're gonna love it. You have to love it. You're committed. Anytime you want to buy something that's big and like a sled, what's a sled? Snowmobile. So you buy a sled or a snowmobile, costs you money to buy it. You enjoy it, take it out for a run, hits a pole. There goes another $800 plus the travel time it's going to take you to pull that sled back in. My favorite when I was a youngster, my favorite thing was Everybody likes to put up these chain link fences all over the place. We get 4 feet, 5 feet of snow. But just like everywhere else, we have drifts going along on the snowmobile. There goes the skis. What the hell happened? You just hit a fence and they took them right off. The skis right off. You're sitting there, snow face plant right in the snow in 4 feet of snow. You look back, there's sure shit. There's the skis, and you go back. There's a barbed wire fence there. You're not. You gotta laugh, right? It's like crap. I gotta go and now I gotta walk. I don't have snowshoes. I gotta walk. I gotta put them back on. Find a way to get them back on, and then turn the stupid sled around and go. Try to go not back over my tracks that I just went over and lost my my skis in, and then try and figure out where the fence line is. Well, you're in it, and now you gotta try to find your way out of it, out of a huge snowdrift that's over someone's fence that you're thinking this is where the fence posts are. And the only way you can tell is that the snow, the lines in the snow, has these little pontoons sticking out. Well, every so often you can see them. So the ones that are you can't see them anymore. Those ones are gone, right? They're buried. So you're okay to drive over them, but you got to go really slow. If anyone knows anything about snowmobiles, you got to go really slow over them. Anyway, that was my snow sled story. The other one that I have is we went up over a ravine in our sleds, and we do a wide turn. Well, this one occasion, because you can't tell where the embankment ends, so I go over it. I'm looking. I can't see anything. All of a sudden, I see this big sheer drop. So I turn the sled. As I'm turning the sled, whoosh, we sink 4 feet, just like that, just like that. 4 feet sink. Okay. Everybody's got to get off the sled. We got to pull the sled up out of the snow. We're stuck in the snow. The snow is like 5 to 6 feet deep. We're trying to push the sled up to get it to go so we can turn it around. Well, what a pain in the butt. It wanted to tip. Once it started tipping, it just wanted to continue to tip. So we had to dig it out, burying ourselves in the snow to dig it out. And then we had to get pulled out one by one on the back of the sled. Then we turned the sled around. Oh, it was a lot of fun. It was like a good 30 minutes of headaches trying to pull the sled out, get everything organized. There was 4 of us on the stupid thing. Anyway, didn't want to say that. Get a lot of people upset. Swammy. Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming and stopping by. Really appreciate that. Anyway, that was my sled story. I have others. I have a few others. We used to love jumping off the drive-in into the snowbank. And just so you're aware, there's no snowbank. It's just jumping off the top of the drive-in in the snow. When you have 6 feet of snow, because the humidity is so high, and it's only like -4 degrees or 5 degrees, but if there's a wind, it goes right through you because of the humidity. It freezes you really quick. So you understand. And a big shout out to everybody. Thank you for stopping by. Really appreciate that. Um, we used to make big, huge snow angels. Just jump off, make big, spread out, and that was a lot of fun. The only thing that wasn't fun was climbing up on top, and then having the owner chase us off with the sled. We used to go up the hill because drive-ins, right? There's a mount in behind the screen so that the screen would sit up straight, and then the projectors from the drive-in would shoot up on it. But anyway, though that was a big hill, so we used to slide down that on our sleighs, and we had a lot of fun. But there was some nasty ramp ups. So at the bottom, the snowplow would push all the snow up against the side and create this big ramp and that would you get airborne in heartbeat. So we could go 2 to 3 feet in the air. Well, being a 6, 7 year old kid, 6, 7 feet in the air seems like a long way down when you're flying over it. And then you had embankments because that's all the embankments were for the cars, right, for the drive-in theater. Anyway, that was that story. Anyway, thank you for stopping by and tuning in. We'll share some more videos. I'm looking at possibly doing one a week. I'm hoping to with my channel, so that you can stay informative and stay in the mix of what's going on, and getting news ready for the big announcement in March. It should be big. And stay tuned and we'll check out, we'll keep our eye on BTB and a few others. If you want to give them to me, I'll look them up for you, and we can do some research, and stay tuned. Thank you so much.
Did your team get approval from legal?
Sure, I'd love it.
So, good night, everybody. Make sure you subscribe, edit, like, give me comments, tell your friends. We're going to get things rolling. If I can't do this, we'll try some comedy for you, and maybe that will be a highlight to everybody's life, rather than boring stuff like investments and how to make money. Who wants to make money, right? Everybody wants to laugh. It's more fun. Anyway, enjoy yourselves. Have a great evening. We'll talk to you later. Bye.